Hello there. I'm just working with Phoenix today. It's New Year's Day, so fun to start a new year with my training. So I keep trying to move so you can see him. So I'm just focusing on right now, just uh, um, getting him to shape his body into a shape that works for training. So what I'm wanting to do is get him to stretch over the top line and be even between the front legs. So I'll kind of play his weight back and forth between the shoulders and find the balance in between. And generally I find with new horses or wild horses, they tend to really lift their head when you start touching their head or starting any kind of training, and so they're above the hand if you were riding. So I'm just teaching him to follow my hand and to stretch over the top and bring his head down into a better position, and then to flex it a bit so he's lifting his chest a bit. So I'm just focusing on the front end mostly. Sometimes I'll use the whip at his girth area to get him to turn his head towards me. So that's when I'm riding, it'll be my inside leg that he'll round around. So touching the girth area on the inside is starting to get that idea that I'll want him riding. So I'm just trying to get him to stretch down and then kind of round and flex up a little bit in the front. And sometimes I use the whip over his hindquarters just to prevent him from stepping back. I want him to shift the weight back without stepping back. But I'm not going to worry too much about that because there's only so much that he can understand at this point. So I'm just starting from the front, and I'll gradually, as he understands, I'll work my way back into improving the shape and and eventually getting the inside hip down. That's my goal, and just getting him shifting back off his shoulders onto the hindquarters in a nice shape with the inside hip coming down. So that's the goal. So we'll see how we do with him. So when I do touch his nose, I am kind of, I'll just show you. So I go really slow because I don't want him moving away. I don't want him bracing against me at all. So I'm really soft and really slow because I want him to stay soft and supple. See, now already he's moving back. Good. But see there, he's already learned. I just practiced a bit yesterday and today that to bring his head into a vertical position and to stretch over the top. So he actually does understand that now when I touch his nose. He gives it very soft and very easy. See, he follows my hand down, and then with the lightest impulse, good, he flexes. So he's actually very intelligent, and he learns very, very fast, and he actually loves the attention. He starts to do a lot of chewing and relaxing, and he really enjoys the attention. So super positive from a training aspect, but also from the relationship aspect. And I of course change sides and work on each side because it's a new bending on each side. So it's really slow, really gentle. So he's relaxing into my hand. It's okay. He just has to do a little itch. I always move away and give him space for that because if I crowd him, it kind of makes him nervous because he is a wild horse. So I want him to feel relaxed about, putting himself kind of in a vulnerable position and not feeling worried that I'm going to do anything weird. Good boy. So I'm going to, good. I'm using the whip, very nice. So you could see how he got really soft to my hand almost immediately. I use the whip up high just so he doesn't step back. He's good. Good. Excellent. See, it's super light, like I'm just barely touching him. And I can even play around with the C1, the first vertebrae. Good boy. Good. So he dropped and then he flexed. And so that's what I'm wanting. I want the stretch and then the flex, the lifting of the chest. And I want that as even between the front legs as possible. So that means I want to kind of, as he's comfortable, play between putting weight on the outside leg, putting the weight on the inside leg, and then finding that middle ground. Good. Good. Okay. Good. And that's okay that he stepped back with one front leg. He didn't step back with the hind, which is what I want. So that means he is starting to shift weight back. If the front legs are moving but the hind legs are not, he's starting to put a little bit more weight on his hindquarters. And it's so important that he stays relaxed so that he's not bracing, so he stays really soft and really light to my hand. Yeah, good. Good. There, he was ready to pick up the inside front. So again, he was starting to shift weight back. Good boy. And I'm doing just a slight impulse with my hand, really light, not I don't want him to have anything to brace against. Good. Good. Yeah, good. Excellent. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And he's very eager to please. He knows when I'm praising him. So when I praise him, then he offers it even easier next time. Good. Good. Good boy. Good. Yeah, good. 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 Excellent. Yes. Very nice. And that's very, very light, very soft. And I can feel the atlas isn't stuck. He's not bracing or tensing in the atlas. It's very movable with a very light impulse from my hands. So that's what I'm aiming for. I don't want him clenching his jaw or tensing muscles around the atlas. I want him really supple and movable. And he is very light that way. So the lighter I am, the lighter he will be. I can't force him into any position. I can just teach him to understand so that he can lightly carry himself in that position. But if he doesn't understand and I'm just forcing him, it'll always be a tense, braced position. I want him to be able to carry himself. So it's all about understanding and being really light and really soft and praising so that he does know that he's done it the way I would like him to. Good. Good. Very nice. Very nice. So the backup is very light and very easy. He did take a diagonal back, which was nice and light and easy. And it was balanced. Generally, I don't want back, but if he does it nice like that, that's okay too. Good boy. Good. Good. Yeah. So the minute he shifts, I release. So he's getting the idea that I just want him to shift his weight, but I don't want him to actually step back. And so if I don't release quick enough, then he will step back. So it's up to me to be really paying attention and to release at the right moment. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Very nice. So, he's a wild horse, so he's never, he's 7 years old. So, you would think this would actually go slower with a horse that's never had a halter on, never been walked in and out of a stall or wherever. But it's going surprisingly easy and fast, really. Like he's so intelligent that and very, very willing. He's a very friendly horse. He's very happy to interact with me. So he's actually picking up very well because he's comfortable, he's relaxed, he likes me, he's happy, he's got a good life here. So he's actually, even though he's had no previous interactions with humans other than a bit of hay in the winter, but no halter, no nothing. I feel that he's actually really learning very quickly. There you go, good. Excellent. So there he took the wrong bending. He was bending to the left, and I wanted him to bend to the right. And I actually could get him to correct the bending, and I felt it all the way to his hips. So that's pretty cool, pretty nice. All right, there we go.